Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome to Fireside Chats, State of Our Nation. I am your host, Susanna Tanner, candidate for President 2028. I am here in beautiful Hot Springs County State Park in Thermopolis, Wyoming. It's a very lovely day out, as you can see. Lots of people in the park playing, all that stuff. I am here in Wyoming on family business. So, shout out to all of my family that's here for my Aunt Kathy, who passed away in November on Veterans Day, I believe it was. And we had her service today. So it was a very good get-together. I'm glad that we were able to be together and see each other. And it has been such a long time since we have had so many people in one spot from our family. So awesome. And that brings me to this Fireside Chats topic, which is actually related to climate change. It's related to climate preservation and definitely things that we can do to help preserve our forests and such. And with that, we're going to get into it. On my drive out here, I traveled through Jackson, Wyoming, and into the national forest there. Bridger Teton and Shoshone National Forests kind of blend into each other. And it's beautiful scenery. Even during the wintertime, it is a gorgeous area to be in, although it is a bit dangerous because of snow and such. However, I noticed that there is a lot of fire hazards there in the forest. And it's not the only place there is such fire hazards. These include dead trees and brush that is just around, like no one goes into the forest to clean it up, to reduce the fire hazards. And I noticed that many of the areas of the forest consisted of a very large amount of trees that were dead and just sitting there. So this concerns me because this could create a very dangerous fire in that area, much like we've seen in California and in Maui and in Washington State. And I believe there was some fires over on the East Coast in New Jersey. And I believe there was one in Massachusetts. I'll double check on that one in the last few years. And these fires can be, the risk for them can be reduced by going in and making sure that we reduce the amount of flammable materials such as dead trees and brush and stuff that's just laying in the forest areas. And by doing so, we are allowing newer trees to grow in those areas, creating less of a fire hazard, creating more life, sustaining the ecosystem in those areas, and making sure that our people are safe from fire hazards. I think this is really important in every state where we've had these potentially deadly and sometimes very deadly disasters happen. One of the things I noticed about traveling through the national forests coming to Wyoming, through Wyoming, was that it was very spread out. In multiple areas of the forest, there was a greater than 40% of the trees that were dead. These really need to be taken care of. And some of the legislation that I've thought of that we can implement for maintaining our forests include not just having logging companies go in to help remove them, and obviously that costs money, but also having our people, individuals who like to go camping in the forest, be able to take dead wood out of the forest to reduce those fire hazards. There's no reason why we can't enact such legislation. And this includes utilizing techniques from our tribesmen from ancient times, for maintaining forests, preventing fires. Pre-burning is something that we've done for a very long time, and not just as a growing population here in the United States, but as tribesfolk and such. And I was actually watching a documentary on this from Frontline, I believe it was, Frontline or PBS. And it included Native Americans, our tribesmen, and techniques that they used to maintain the forest to prevent those types of fires from happening. It is really important for us to maintain our forests. That way we can reduce the risk of death, we can reduce the risk of pollution, we can reduce the risk of having to financially lose so much money from having to rebuild from these disasters. It is a big benefit to us to maintain our forests, especially those who are, forests that are seeing more dead trees than live ones. And I encourage the state of Wyoming to go to just travel along the route, the standard highway through the forest to see what I'm talking about. It does present a danger. So, with that in mind, this can happen in every state. Every state where there is any kind of fire hazard, even in desert areas where there's not even a lot of trees, they can catch fire. And sometimes they do. It's about preserving ourselves. It's about preserving our earth. And there's a lot that we can do with the dead trees that we take out of the forests. There's a lot of ways we can use it, from charcoal to just general pellets to burn, general disposal for making compost, such things like that. The ideas, the possibilities are endless when it comes to that. So, something to think about, and hopefully we can get some legislation going through any of our states that helps to maintain our forests and create jobs in doing so for companies, for individuals, and I think that it will help our economy as well. We won't have to concentrate so much on rebuilding from disasters. We can just concentrate on the maintenance for preventing disasters. I believe that is at least a start, and having the community come together to present more ideas to help maintain and to financially be able to afford these types of things. It is a big issue, I understand that, but we can do it. As a nation, we can do it. As a state, we can do it. Even as a locality, we can do it. So, I hope that that gives you something to think about. One of my plans for helping our nation recover is helping implementing the project of maintaining our forests. That is all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.